Water is fluid, soft and yielding. But water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft and yielding will overcome whatever is hard and rigid. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. I always remember this, not word by word, of course. I'm not insane, Eventually I'll remember this word by word. But I always remember what is soft is strong and being like water. Not pretending to be Zen, okay? If I feel pissed off, it's not about trying to pretend. It's about just being aware. And naturally, by being aware of the tensions that come up in a triggering scenario, you will start to calm down. This may take some time. And of course, if something really, really riles you up and you've got lots of fire building up, like this toaster behind me, then you may find yourself, struggling to remain aware of these feelings. But through awareness, this acts as the water that wears away at the tension, which I guess in this analogy would be the rock. Another thing I like to use for approaching emotions and accepting them is to think about a blood test. So when you have a blood test, there are really two ways you can go about this. So, having a blood test, somebody puts that needle in there, and you're tensing. And you're like, no, I don't want it. You're resisting the needle. And so it hurts way more. It's prolonging how long it's going to last. So basically, it's a longer and more unpleasant experience than it would be if you were just to allow the needle to go in. It may sting a little bit. You may feel that initial kind of, but it's okay. To relax the muscles. If you've had a lot of blood tests, you start to learn that you should just relax your muscles. Just let it happen, let it happen, let it happen. Let it happen. Kind of hurts maybe, but that's fine. Just let it happen. And then it comes out and it's done. Way less pain and doesn't take as long. So the overall experience is just easier, more relaxed. So it's the same thing with emotions, that when an emotion comes up, an unpleasant one, it could be a pleasant one as well, but obviously these ones we find a lot easier to just accept, don't we? Yes, a pleasant emotion. But if it's an unpleasant emotion, you're like, oh God, I don't want that. So when an unpleasant emotion comes, we have to do the same thing that we do with our blood test when we relax the muscles and we just let the needle go in. The needle is that kind of emotional pain. And that emotional pain in the physical body comes up as these sensations. So really it is about being aware of the sensations in the body. And I've spoken about this in a previous video, but I'll say it again. The sensations can really be so varied. It's so much more varied than emotions, or at least the labels that we have for different emotions like anger and jealousy and sadness and happiness and maybe a few other things. But with sensations, there's so many different things: pulsations and swelling and tingling, fuzziness, warmness, coldness, whatever. So many different kinds of sensations. And to just remain aware of this. It may seem completely irrelevant to healing, but it is so relevant because this is essentially what emotions are. It is the energy in motion within the body. That's what it is. And to remain aware of that actually allows it to shift. There's a quote, let me remember. Whatever we resist persists. Whatever we accept transforms. Carl Jung, I'm pretty sure. But this is true. This is true. So we just allow the feeling. I'll use another analogy. So we have the boomerang. Your emotions like a boomerang. When you throw it, it comes back. If you try to throw away the emotion, you say, I don't want you. The boomerang's gonna come back. Fuck. That really hurt. And of course, the harder you throw it, the harder it's gonna hit your face on the way back. So don't throw it. Don't throw the boomerang. Don't throw it. Just hold it. Hold it. And it won't hit you. So, yeah. And one last analogy. The emotional piss analogy. So when you're pissing, you're not forcing it to stop. You're not forcing it to just stay in the body. You're also not forcing it to go out, but you just let it flow. Again, I think I said this in the last video, but I'm saying it again. You just let it happen. So it's just being aware of the body. And again, healing is not hard work, but gentle work. I used to think it was this process of just really working hard every day, journaling. I just need to work out my pain and see where it all comes from. This anger comes from this childhood experience. This comes from... Man, I was so tired after 2 years of doing this consistently. And I've always been in situations where triggers would come up and, I would tell myself, for example, if I was worried about being perceived as ugly for whatever reason in a certain situation, maybe I'm at the club or something, and I'm like, oh, they think I'm ugly. Then I would tell myself, I am beautiful, I am sexy, or whatever, and that wouldn't help me because I still felt this tension in the body. I wasn't being aware of the body. I wasn't allowing the tension to just slowly settle into a peace. You may not even believe this is possible. You may have been in such tension for such a long time in your life that you're like, there's no way that my tensions could go away. And to be fair, I don't really see it as a deletion of the tension, more a transformation. Again, that whole thing of, whatever we resist persists, whatever we accept transforms. Well, exactly. Transformation. It's not that anything is deleted or born. Energy can't be created or destroyed. And this is even said by the scientists, not just the spiritualists, so you can go on that side of things as well, the logic side, But energy cannot be created or destroyed. And again, in the context of emotions being energy, essentially, sensations in the body, energy, we allow it to be and it shifts. Anything that you allow to be will shift because everything changes. And actually, I'm only able to do a certain length of videos. Otherwise, it's going to cut me off. So here I am. I'm stopping right here, but I hope whatever I said was helpful. And I'll see you with another video sometime whenever I decide to do another one.